After an almost year-long delay, Paramount has released Spongebob, Sponge on the Run. And as someone who has never watched Spongebob, I got to watch this movie with a completely open mind and with no prior knowledge of the character or the show whatsoever. So is it any good? Does it stack up on its own? Well, let's talk about it. As many of you are probably aware, I didn't watch Nickelodeon growing up, not very much at least. I was pretty much Disney. I was basically just Disney Channel, and that was about it. The Disney channels, all of them, and that was about it as a kid. That's pretty much what I watched. So, and SpongeBob, I always thought looked really stupid. Even as a kid, I thought this looked really dumb. So I avoided it for 18 years. But now that they've got this new movie out, I can watch it for free. So I thought, why not give it a shot? So I don't know what I was expecting out of this. I had a feeling that, I didn't think I was gonna hate this movie. Actually, I had a feeling okay, had you told me last year that you were gonna watch this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hate this. But I'm like, I probably won't hate this. Final thoughts on it? That's really the best way I can put it. Just, it's meh. It's okay, I guess. It's not offensively bad, but it's nothing to write home about either. Again, I didn't watch the show, so probably a lot of these jokes flew over my head because I don't have any knowledge of the TV show. It's a lot like if someone were to try to watch one of the Phineas and Ferb movies, or like one of the Disney Channel movies that were based on, or that took place after or during one of the shows. It would be like trying to introduce someone to one of the shows during the movies, and that would have been a terrible idea because they wouldn't have any knowledge of what's going on. This one is kind of similar, even though it's basically a self-contained story. So, there are plenty of things to like about, surprisingly a few things to like about this. I like the animation. I don't think it's phenomenal. I think that studios like Disney and Warner Brothers have been doing the 3D style way better, but Paramount did okay with it. And one thing I really like is the way they have the Paramount logo, where it has it was like some kind of CG animation of a kid skipping a rock, and the rock is the star, and it floats up all around into a CG Paramount logo, and it actually looks kind of cool. I like the voice acting. Most of these actors I know are from the TV show, and one of the most entertaining aspects of this movie is Keanu Reeves as Sage. Most of his jokes I didn't laugh at, but he I don't know what it was. He was definitely the most entertaining part of the movie, and I actually like these characters. I'm not gonna lie. I like most of these characters. I feel every relationship these characters have. And even without watching the show, I can get behind every single relationship this show has. I believe the friendship between SpongeBob and Patrick, and between SpongeBob and Sandy, and SpongeBob and Gary. And so, yeah, so the writing isn't that bad. And there was another positive I could think about. What it lacks in jokes, because this movie isn't that funny, it makes up for in heart. It really does. It's a lot like Magic Camp, where Magic Camp, it was such a dull movie with a generic story and stereotypical characters, but it had enough charm to it that I actually ended up enjoying it. This one's kind of the same way. It's the story isn't exactly interesting, but the characters have enough charm to them. The actors have a lot of energy, and I like how the characters are written. The one downside in the writing is the comedy. This movie isn't that funny. There aren't any jokes that I actively hated. If you saw my review last year of Eurovision, where pretty much every joke I wanted to beat myself with a hammer, this one doesn't have any. There are no jokes that I'm smacking my head saying, oh my god, they really said that? No. but there's a lot of jokes I didn't laugh at. There are a few that and especially in like the first like half hour, there were a few that I kind of laughed at, but those were mostly pity laughs. There are a few funny bits here and there, but this is a comedy movie, and it kind of lacks the comedy. One genius thing that happened in this movie, one genius aspect, is when they call it the Lost City of Atlantic City, and for the record, that was freaking awesome, where there's not Atlantis, it's like Lost City of Atlantic City, and it's basically like Vegas. It's like a combination of Vegas and Six Flags. It's got a bunch of roller coasters, a bunch of gambling tables, everything's like so overly lit, and it starts playing Livin' La Vida Loca. I thought that was fucking hilarious. That was absolutely, that music choice was genius. And it reminded me a lot of the Lotus Casino scene from the first Percy Jackson film, when that one played Poker Face, which was pretty, which was a good choice too. But had they played Livin' La Vida Loca, that would have been even awesomer. That was like a genius music choice. So there's a lot of random stuff in this movie that I can talk about. Like there's a cameo by Snoop Dogg for really no reason. I guess they just wanted a rapper, and he's probably, they're like, oh, wait, Snoop Dogg said yes? Okay, let's get him, because a lot of people like Snoop Dogg for some reason. I don't have anything personal against Snoop Dogg other than he smokes too much pot, which, again, I'm not going to get into that. That's not the purpose of this but I've never really had a problem with him professionally. I don't like rap music, but normally when I hear something from Snoop Dogg, it's like, okay, this isn't awful. Like, his rap in this movie isn't that bad. It's fine, it's serviceable. There is a song number near the end with all of the characters, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was okay, and I did think, well, I was thinking, because they start dancing around Poseidon's throne while they're doing, I'm like, they could have just grabbed the snail there, and they did. It turns out they did, because the next shot reveals that they placed a little, like, cardboard or, like, wood, Gary inside the jar that he had. So I'm like, oh, they did take the snail. Thank God. There's one pretty clever action sequence where they're escaping from Poseidon, where they end up in this armor. It's the thing you've seen in 1,000 movies where you got each character controlling a separate body part of it. Like, someone's controlling one of the arms, someone's controlling one of the legs, someone's controlling, like, the chest plate of it, someone's moving the head. And so, there's nothing new about that, but it does lead to some, the way it's shot and the way everything, like, kind of moves it's actually pretty well done. I thought it was fine. That's the best way to describe this movie as a whole. It's fine. It's serviceable for someone who hasn't watched SpongeBob, and I thought and that will probably not watch the show. This could have been way worse, because like I said, I've never seen SpongeBob. I've seen like little snippets of scenes, and that's about it. And for what I've seen, like, jokes out of context, some of them are actually pretty funny. So, but this doesn't have the greatest of jokes, but it makes up for it, and surprisingly makes up for it in the writing with the characters. Even though it's got a basic story and a lot of unfunny jokes, but it makes up for it with the character writing. And if you can get your characters down, your movie can at least work to some degree. And this movie does, I guess, where if you like the show, you'll probably like this movie just fine. I didn't see Sponge Out of Water that came out a few years ago. I don't really have much interest in watching it, so I'm probably just gonna stick with this one. Will I watch this movie again? Probably not. I like I said, I don't think this is bad, but it's one of those movies I'm like, oh, it's okay, but I'm probably not gonna watch it again. But it's like Batman Soul of the Dragon, basically. It's like, okay, this isn't awful, this isn't bad, but I'm probably not gonna watch it again. Although, I will say, compared to Tom and Jerry, this movie looks like a freaking masterpiece. Like, okay, if you told me last year that, if you went up to me last year and said, hey, you're gonna hate the Tom and Jerry movie, and you're gonna think this Spongebob movie is alright. I probably would hit you with my baseball bat, and then run you over with my bike, and then my dad's car. But you would have been right as you lay there next to the street, bloody and bashed, and I run away laughing hysterically. Because, well, if you saw my review of Tom and Jerry just a few days ago, it was a live-action bullshit mess. I couldn't stand it. This one was shorter by like 6 minutes, and I was able to finish it. That tells you right off the bat it's better than Tom and Jerry, because I was able to finish it. There wasn't a cringeworthy plot, there wasn't a bunch of awful dialogue, there wasn't a bunch of characters you wanted to punch in the nuts. There wasn't poorly done slapstick, because when there is slapstick in this movie, if it's not funny, it's at least an okay attempt. And when it is funny, it's funny. Simplest way I can put it. So this is an okay movie. Like I said, if you like the show, you'll like this fine. If you don't watch the show, like I don't, it's serviceable, I guess. If you don't like the show, you probably won't like this movie. I'm basically indifferent to this movie. That's probably the best way to put it. I'm indifferent to this movie. So yeah, I really thought I was gonna hate this, but I surprisingly don't. So surprisingly even myself, SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water is going to get a 2.7 out of 5. Surprisingly, that's my highest score this year so far. No fresh scores yet. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button for more reviews, and comment down below, what did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What's your thoughts on SpongeBob in general? Did you see the first movie? Did you like that one? Do you like the show? Is SpongeBob like your thing, basically? So, and if it is, you'll love this movie. So, that's what I'm going to say, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.